Good morning. Happy New Year. Thank you, Chamber, for hosting this event. I want to recognize the efforts of the other county elected officials during the past year. Claude Porter, Rachel Foster, Leslie McCarty, Jeff Jones, Keith Kane, and Jennifer Biesecker. Their offices and staff adapted to the COVID-19 pandemic and continue to provide services. I want to acknowledge my staff, all department heads and county employees for staying on the job and looking for ways to continue to provide county services. I want to thank former Commissioners Condor and Smithwright for their service to our community. And I want to congratulate the City Commissions of Owensboro and Whitesville. I look forward to working with them. I also want to thank my wife, Judy, for always being there for me. The state of the county is good. We have money in the bank, and we pay our bills on time. This is my 11th State of the County address, and the 11th time I've said this. But it's not because of my efforts. It's the efforts of our employees and our county commissioners, George Wathen, Charlie Castlin, Mike Colbert. They make the difference. The key to good government is leadership, good example, fiscal responsibility, and efficient use of county resources. And I believe this fiscal court delivers on all levels. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic was and will continue to be the hot topic. Keeping our citizens healthy and informed, as well as providing a safe work environment for our employees, is number one on our list of priorities. Leading by example and using the protocols called for by federal and state governments and following CDC and local health department guidelines, Davis County stepped up and provided leadership. Working with small businesses, the Chamber, and United Way to provide masks and other PPE, Davis County stepped up and provided leadership. From providing relief to bars and restaurants having a Davis County business license, to extending the due date for paying net profits taxes, delaying a scheduled increase in occupational taxes, and waiving county alcohol renewal fees, Davis County stepped up and provided leadership. Collaborating with the city through joint executive orders and each contributing $300,000 to the COVID-19 response fund, sparking another $450,000 from our community. Your local governments provided leadership, and you, the community, stepped up. I want to thank the United Way and the Green River Area Community Foundation for their hard work in getting those funds in the hands of the people and organizations most in need. Davis County Fiscal Court delivered a balanced budget, providing all the services that we are constitutionally and statutorily required to provide, and we did it in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. Even during this trying time, we worked with our legislators, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, to locate a real ID center in Davis County. We moved forward with a new $6 million communication system for our first responders. We renovated the fiscal courtroom for the first time in 20 years to make it more accessible to everyone. We continued upgrades to our park system, including a playground for all, a top-notch shotgun sports facility, and delivered another Christmas at Panther Creek, shattering all previous records for attendance and revenue. As you know, we lost a great friend of the park system this past year when Commissioner Jim Lambert passed away. I'm sure he's very pleased to see his dream grow into such a success. Looking forward, we stand ready to continue helping small businesses in their struggle to keep their doors open and their people employed. We'll look at partnering with EDC and the National Center for Economic Gardening and a 5-company pilot program for primary job creation for Stage 2 companies located here. We will continue our efforts to help those folks who are suffering because of an antiquated and overloaded unemployment system. We'll look for ways to expand internet service into those parts of our county that are not served or are underserved by working with local providers to increase speeds and expand service. In the short term, we've added public Wi-Fi hotspots at 7 of our volunteer fire departments. We've added a communications director, and with his help, hope to become more open and transparent in the years to come through better communication with the public. Now I want to spend a few moments talking to you about some of the questions that were submitted to me by the public. The first one is, what's the biggest challenge facing Davis County Fiscal Court now and in the future? Well, in no particular order, they would be pensions, competing with the private sector for qualified employees, making sure that public safety needs are taken care of and are provided to all of our citizens on an equitable basis, working with the cities of Owensboro and Whitesville, the Chamber and EDC, and our General Assembly delegation to protect local governments, our businesses, and our citizens from the unintended consequences that often accompany new legislation. Last but by no means least, continue to provide leadership needed to help see us safely through the COVID-19 pandemic. What is Davis County doing to have a more diverse workforce and board appointments? Well, during the last 10 years, we've increased our outreach to various minority organizations, encouraging folks to apply for county employment and internships. We reached out to local businesses and the chamber for their recommendations of young folks and minorities for board appointments. With some exceptions, we've limited the number of consecutive terms a person may serve on the same board, increasing the number of opportunities for more people to serve their community. If you check, you'll find that we continually attempt to diversify all of our boards with minorities and young people. But remember, we can only hire if someone applies, and we can only appoint if someone volunteers and is willing to serve. Can you speak to the non-discrimination ordinance? Well, of course I can. I supported the ordinance when it was first proposed, and I still support the ordinance. I think the Supreme Court decision back in the summer addressed some workplace issues, but accommodation and housing still needs to be addressed. In my opinion, this is a community image issue and a workforce recruiting issue. Until 2 Davis County commissioners ask for it to be placed on the agenda, I don't see it going anywhere. When will the statue be moved and where? I'm not sure. The court voted 4-0 to move it off the courthouse lawn to a more appropriate location. We set up a committee who brought us several recommendations. Those recommendations have to be vetted. I hope to have that done the first quarter, with the move made in the second quarter. This year, even without COVID-19, has been trying. We've seen hatred, racism, intolerance, and discrimination in the headlines and on social media every day. The right and the left continue to stream slick and professionally done conspiracy theories and stories of deception and fraud. So much so that we scarcely know what to believe. All these are designed to divide us into small factions, afraid to listen to anyone else's opinion because we may learn something that would be contrary to what we believe. We live in a world reading and listening only to those who agree with their own beliefs, which in turn reinforces our own ideas, thus isolating ourselves in our own little clique, where we argue about what's real and what's not, knowing that everyone is waiting a decision on these important issues, a decision which will never come because of gridlock, neither side talking to each other, and when they do, they won't listen to what the other is saying. The right blames the left blames the right, millennials blame boomers, black blames white blames the immigrant, the poor blames the rich blames government. It seems that everyone needs someone to blame for what's happening to them. It can't be my fault, can it? The government, being lowest on the food chain, is blamed the most. Some people want little or no government until they need government. And when the need arises, they want what they want, whether it makes sense or not. Hatred, racism, discrimination, and intolerance, they all live in the hearts of men, in us. And since we make up society, they plague society. When they are let loose, that's on us. That's on you. That's on me. We are responsible. If we are offended or slighted or whatever, we must have the discipline to do what we were taught. Don't strike back. Don't get even. Turn the other cheek. Try to understand the other side. Government can't change what's in your heart. Government can't change society. Only you can. Only we can. In Scripture, we're told, harden not your heart, to forgive those who trespass against us so that our own faults may be forgiven. This is so hard to do, but we must make the attempt, for this is what sets us apart. This is the high road we must travel if we are to resolve our different beliefs and our different views. If we are to have equal justice under the law, we must reconcile what is in our own heart. And when we do that, when those in power step up, lead the way, lead by example, and only then will society change. I will not lose faith in us. I will not lose faith in society. I'll not lose hope for a better time. I'll not turn my back on the nation of laws that I served in the military to preserve, and my father fought in a world war to protect. And I will not lose hope, for he who loses hope despairs in God's all-encompassing love. If we lose faith, if we lose hope, if we fail to love our fellow human being, then hatred and racism and discrimination and intolerance wins. We cannot allow this to happen. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your county judge. God bless you, our community, our Commonwealth, and our nation.